Oh, great. We didn't even have any of that recorded, but thanks, Mitch. Mitch is a little slow on the draw when it comes to recording, but I wanted Matt to come on to kind of share with everyone his techniques, just like how smooth and fluid his golf swing is, but his techniques on how to keep more money, find more financial freedom, have a more balanced life, get your time back, get your work and family time balance. I mean, there's a lot of key factors here. So I'm super grateful to introduce my friend and the guy who always kicks my ass in golf, Matt Plumer. He's the best.
Awesome. Thanks, Pete. Appreciate you, Mitch. Great seeing you, man. Glad to
You
have
too,
you
buddy.
back on the mend. We all had a break there where Mitch couldn't talk. It was great, and now he's back and he's Mitch. It's awesome having you back, man. I'm glad you're healthy. Yeah, we're gonna go on a journey today. Hey, Pete, just a quick check-in. How your framework today? How long do you want me to go? Obviously I have some panelists here. I don't have any. I don't see the attendees. Length Q&A. What are we doing here?
No, that's a great question. The way we would love for you to contribute is kind of share with everybody your top points. We'll go until I'm on the West Coast, so we'll go till around 9:45 and then take 15 minutes worth of questions from our group on how they can apply it to their business and their life. I think that would
Okay,
be great.
perfect. We'll rock and roll. Okay. Thank you guys. It's an honor to serve not only the real estate community, but especially us leaders and people here at EXP, this amazing brokerage that we're with we have real estate agents. I mean, we have such an opportunity to make so much money and impact so many people. That one of the things that I just love to do is help real estate agents actually figure out when is their excuse me, what is their Oz. When is it that time they can take their phone and chuck it in the ocean? You don't have to do the listing. You don't have to take the buyer. It's not necessarily retirement, but it's like you just don't have to do something today because you've always done it for 25 years. Like that day where you don't have to take the listing and you can tell the buyer you'll meet them next week because you want to play golf or you want to go to San Diego or see Pete in Nashville, or you want to take that trip to Cabo with your wife. Like at the end of the day, what we're trying to do, and I've got a slide deck here that I'm going to walk people through, is how do we build stress-free wealth as a real estate agent, knowing all of the things that might cause us to have a inconsistent income, right? How can we create stress-free wealth even if our income is wildly inconsistent? And so I'm going to walk through a little slide deck here. Can you guys see my the deck here? Um, and so I want you to think about that as I go through this, and I'm going to share a quick little story of how I got to this place and having this conversation with you all. But what would you do? Quick little story of how I
Mitch, you're unmuted.
Am I muted? I'm not muted.
You're fine, Matt. That's Mitch that's popping up there.
Okay, cool. So what would stress-free wealth look like to you? What would it look like? You see, I can tell you what it didn't look like for me almost 15 years ago, which is where Melinda and I's story of transformation actually occurred. I was 300 pounds, alcoholic, addictive sports gambler, smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, fast food twice a day. And I found myself married to my college sweetheart, but there was always so much tension and friction in our relationship. Now, we weren't like angry and mad at each other, but there was always this stress that we were causing ourselves. See, we made plenty of money. I mean, well into six figures combined. You don't see it, but we had a nice little puppy. We don't share one with the first puppy we had. But we found ourselves on the counselor's couch. I'm on one end, the other, Melinda's on the other, it was the very first session, and the counselor, we're having a conversation, and Melinda's getting emotional and I'm getting frustrated. And almost at the end of the session, the counselor asked me a very, very, very specific question. He said, Matt, could you go 90 days without a drink? He said, you don't have to drink forever. You don't have to stop drinking forever. You don't even have to lose weight. You don't could you just go 90 days without a drink? And I said, and I had a moment that I'll never forget. I'll never forget how I felt. I'll never forget what I said. I'll never forget the look that I saw on Melinda's face and her emotions. I said, Mike, I don't know if I would do it. If I did do it, I still believe she'll be the same person. So why do I do it? And I was looking, I was looking external, not internal. Because I believe for things to change, you have to change. And he said, well, Matt, I will tell you this. If you don't, you've got 12 months before you're dead, divorced, in jail, or broke. One of those four things are going to happen with people that have the personality and the lifestyle that you have. You're going to run out of room, right? You'll have a heart attack. You'll drink and drive. Your gambling will get to a point where you'll file bankruptcy, or you'll end up just getting divorced. And so at that moment, I made a decision that I didn't want to stop drinking. I didn't want to stop gambling, but I knew I could affect the things that I put into my mouth. I knew I could drink a protein shake instead of going to McDonald's. I could do that. I could get up off the couch. And as I saw the wins start stacking up, 293, 291, 289, 287, and I saw the scale going down, I was able to stop and not drink as much because it was helping me lose weight. And three weeks later, I was always throwing away days of sobriety, and I finally made a decision. Driving back from Washington D.C., I was out at a happy hour at the Georgetown. I was driving back to Reston, Virginia, and I just had a couple of drinks, and I made a decision. I was like, man, I just went 5 days without a drink, and I just pissed it all away at a happy hour. And that was May 18, 2012. And so on May 19th, 2012, on May 18th, I took my last drink. My first day of sobriety was was May 19, and I haven't drank since 2012. 12 and a half years. Three weeks later, I was able to stop. I placed my last bet. I was a sports bettor. And over the next 90 to 180 days, I lost 40, 50 pounds, kept sobriety, and quit gambling. However, one of the things what it did happen was I found entrepreneurship. Because I don't know if anyone here who has gone through any type of addiction or they have eliminated things in their past. But when you're an alcoholic and a gambler, and and then you stop doing that, you get really bored between 4 p.m. and 10. There's no, you don't drink anymore, and you don't bet on sports. Like, you get really bored. And so instead of I started looking through the board, not at the board. And I want every single person to start doing that. Ask yourself, how far down the line of time can you see? Because in that August, I was looking down the line of time, and I was staring the NFL season. I was staring college football. I was staring baseball playoffs dead in the face. And all that meant was chicken wings, cigarettes, and beer and gambling. And so I had to fill that time, because the devil loves idle hands. The devil loves idle hands. So I had to stay busy. So I was exposed to network marketing and entrepreneurship. I helped other people lose weight just the same way that I had lost weight, and ended up losing 100 pounds in 90 days, or 100 pounds in a year, and broke all of our addictions. That led us to the next transformation. We were on a similar couch. I was on one end, Melinda was on the other, and I had to break it to Melinda. This is after making $150,000 to $200,000 for 3 or 4 consecutive years, that we had about 60 days of cash available. I was in the down season of my industry. and we had about 60 days or we weren't going to make it. We were $551,000 in debt, including our mortgage. We had let everything we make just evaporate into stuff. We bought things because we could afford payments, which sent us on a path to find mentors and people that handled money a different way. We got exposed to Dave Ramsey and Financial Peace University. And that first moment that we went to church and I was listening to that very first lesson, I was like, this is exactly how we lost 100 pounds. This is exactly how we became sober. We're going to crush this. So week by week, month by month, debt by debt, we started eliminating things. We started delaying gratification, putting a downward pressure on our lifestyle without an increased pressure in our income. However, we were able to pay off and eliminate $551,000 of debt in less than 40 months and did our debt-free scream on the Dave Ramsey Show. Now you say, hey, coach, how does that all come around with building stress-free wealth? Well, you see, I had to work our brains out to get all the way back to zero. Like, imagine having to do that to get all the way back to zero. And so as we did such a great job on putting a downward pressure on our expenses and our lifestyle, I needed a way to go make more money. And the only way that I knew how to make more money, well, the greatest way that I knew I could make the most amount of money was entering the world of real estate. So I called my buddy. I had hundreds of friends in real estate. See, I was in the moving industry. And so I was meeting with all of people like Pete's clients and helping them move from point A to point B. Right. So I had hundreds of relationships with real estate agents. So I found one of my closest friends. I said, I want what you have. I want to get my license. I want to go make some money. And I got my real estate license. In the first 60 days, I had my first $10,000 check. It was going to come in. I was at the brokerage. I was surrounded by people that were selling, dozens and hundreds of houses a year. And I asked them what they would do with their first $10,000 check. Now, keep in mind, we had just paid off $500,000 and sold stuff and eliminated all of our debt. I'm sober. I've got a clear mind. I don't know what to do with business money. I've nailed personal stuff. I have no idea what to do with business. And what I heard was what I didn't hear was hire a coach, create a marketing machine, what's your lead generation system, find an admin. I didn't hear that. I heard pay last year's taxes and next month's car note. That's what I'll do with the next $10,000 check. I'll get caught up on taxes and pay a debt, which told me that that majority of real estate agents' incomes are going towards obligations, not opportunities. And so that sent me on a journey for another transformation because my client was no longer going to be, the people that I was going to impact was no longer the buyer or the seller. It was the real estate agent, the team leader, the broker owner. Because that's what I was excited about. I was not excited about showing Mitch another condo in the Reston Town Center. Yeah, I was going to make 10, 20, 10, 15, 20,000 bucks. Yeah, great. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to drive all over Northern Virginia to make money. I wanted to go impact people because Mitch's life does not change when he buys a condo on Market Street. It just didn't. Right? And so that sent me to have, I've had thousands of these conversations, gang. And the three things that bring the most stress and anxiety, two things that bring the most stress and anxiety to real estate agents after thousands of conversations, interviews, and coaching calls is inconsistent income and financial disorganization. So if we can fix those two things, now we're not going to be able to fix them in the next 15 to 20 minutes, but what I want to walk you through is a framework on how we can start to build stress-free wealth. Now you see the pictures here today. That was this spring. My wife and Melinda and I kept the girl, lost 100 pounds, kept the girl, got 2 dogs in the mix. But we were also able to move from Reston, Virginia to Las Vegas in that time frame because we were intentional. Because we went through and kept working through a framework of transformation. Now, if you want to take a quick QR code, I've actually wrote a book, The 5 Financial Mistakes That Real Estate Agents Make. You can actually scan this. It's a free download. I'll also make sure Mitch and Pete have the link that you can actually just go and register and download. I promise you I won't fill your inbox with unvaluable spam and messaging. I promise you there is a ton of value here. 20, 25 page read, very easy. And we unpack the 5 financial mistakes that agents make. So, financial transformation. Now, this is a transformation framework for anyone who is looking for change. Right? The very first step in any transformation, we're talking about finance today, is awareness. Right? What is your 300-pound alcoholic, addictive sports gambler moment on the couch? What is your, hey, I have a $500,000 of debt moment? So one of the things I want you to do today, as soon as we're done, is carve out some time and just write down your truths. I live here, I weigh this, I have this much money, I've sold this many houses. I sold this many houses last year. I was able to save this amount of money, right? I've gone on this many dates. I played this many rounds of golf, whatever. And then do not, gang, I'm telling you, don't fall into this trap. Do not get caught in the shame, blame, and guilt wheel. Because we will always cause ourselves guilt because we are always measuring ourselves where we could be if we would have done X, Y, and Z. Does that make sense? 300 pounds, I'm an alcoholic, I'm addicted to sports gambler, I smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day, I'm $500,000 in debt. I suck. Do not do that. Always measure backwards. There's a really good chance that you are so much further ahead than where you were 5 years ago, where you were a decade ago. And because a lot of us know Pete's story, like Pete could write down everything he wanted to write down and be completely honest with himself. And I guarantee you, he is in a much better place than when he was driving across the country, moving from Boston to San Diego, figuring out how to sell real estate. Completely different. Right? Regardless of what is today, it doesn't matter. Because once we write everything down, what's the decision that we have to make to change what we just wrote down? Do you have to stay sober forever? No. Can you be sober on May 19, 2012? Yes. From the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, can I just not drink? From the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, can I just not use a credit card? I'm going to use cash when I buy things. Like, imagine if that was the decision that you made. Now, Pete, if this prop goes away, I'm going to blame you. I'm going to need a new prop. It's my most expensive prop, by the way. But what decision do you have to make? I'm going to get up off the couch and walk 3,000 steps. 2,000 steps is a mile, by the way. So can you go walk a mile? Do you have to get 10,000 steps a day? No, but can you walk 2? Can you just review your last 30 days of banking transactions? Can you look at your calendar the last 30 days and how many times did you actually sit down and carve out the time to make the phone calls? And then what decision can you make moving forward that you're going to change that? And the last step is intentionality. Can you track that activity? See, over the last handful of years, I created what's called the wealth method. And the wealth stands for, there's an acronym, and the T is track. I call do the math and know your scoreboard. Track what matters. I believe it's one of the most important parts of the wealth method. Because if we don't track it, we just don't care. Like if you care about something, I want you to track it. I care how many dates I go on with my wife. I'm going to track every single time. Sometimes I'm like, hey, that was a date. And she was like, no, you looked at your phone 47 times. That was not a date. And I was like, okay, fair. Got to do it again. But I'm going to track every single time Melinda and I go on a date, every single time we go to church, every time I go to yoga. And I'm also going to track how many times I play golf. I want to get better. I want to be more consistent. I already track my money. So what is the thing that you need to be intentional about, the decision that you just made? Awareness, decision, intentionality. And so as I was having these conversations and created a coaching business 5 years ago, and started having conversations with agents, a few things came to light. A few things came to light. One, real estate agents don't make as much as they think. So these are some of the challenges that real estate agents have, right? The two biggest stressors are inconsistent income and financial disorganization. And I believe some of that is because real estate agents don't make as much as they think. Coach, what do you mean? Well, most agents just do percentage compensation math and it's like, hey, I got a $500,000 house. It's 3%. I make $15,000. Right? Well, we all work for a brokerage, right? If you're with EXP or you're with another brokerage, there's some sort of a split that some people just don't calculate it. Their brain tells them they're going to make 15 grand, then they go get a $15,000 per transaction lifestyle. Right? So there's a disconnect between lifestyle and how much money they make. Then there's a brokerage split. But what about the lead generation? What about the lead fee, right? Did it come from Zillow or Redfin that you owe, or a realtor.com that you owe a referral to? What about an agent referral that you forgot that there was an agent referral on the deal? And then God, Lord help us that the deal, because every deal closes on time. No deals go from the 28th of the month to the 2nd of the month. That happens to be the same month your cap resets. That had a referral on it. So your $15,000 commission just turned to 8 very quickly. Because we think we make more than we do. Because we're not paying attention to the numbers. Because we're not tracking things. So real estate agents don't make as much as they think. We all spend more than we care to admit. Even Mitch spends more than he cares to admit. Right? Even Mitch. Even Matt Plumer. Even Dave Ramsey spends more than he cares to admit. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that we got to pay attention. And when we don't make as much as we think, we spend more than we care to admit, that generally leaves us behind on taxes and or retirement. You see, when I have conversations with agents and they want to take that next step, or they want to have that strategy or discovery call or that wealth mapping session, one of the very first questions I ask is, how much do you owe the government and how much do you save for retirement? Because we have to start at the end and turn around and work our way back. Okay. So there are 3 things that you can start doing today. Very easily, 3 things that you can start to do today. Number 1, profit hacking. Now, profit hacking, who, show of hand in the chat, just me, if that's you, or profit and loss, who runs their business on a profit and loss statement? Either show of hands if I can see you, or if you're in the chat, just me, profit and loss. Okay. Love it. Profit and loss statement. Revenue, sales, then a list of expenses, followed by net profit. What the report says. We were all taught sales minus expenses equals profit. Right? Accounting 101. CPAs say that. Bookkeepers say that. So where's the first place that you look when you are reviewing a profit and loss statement? Bottom right. You just look at that number at the bottom, you circle it. Now I have two questions. If that's you, I have two questions for you. We did $1 million. You spent 400,000, right? Rent, admin, payroll, cost of goods sold, marketing, all the stuff, insurance, everything. $600,000 of net profit. Awesome year. Who's signing up for that year in 2025? Right? Make $1 million, spend 400, keep 600. It's a hell of a year. I have two questions. Where and what happened to the 600 grand? Second question, where's the 200 grand you owe the government on the 600 grand that you made?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I get this emoji. I don't know. And so when we look at profit hacking, we have to flip the script. And we have to change it to sales minus profit equal expenses. It's profit first. I teach it. I absolutely love it. And we implement profit first into our business, into our rental portfolios, into our rev share businesses, into any business that we own or operate. Profit first. And we have to pay ourselves first. So the first thing that you can do leaving today, after you figure out your transformation sequence, is say, hey, I'm going to start paying myself first out of every deal. And just start there. And if you wanted a second thing, we're going to set a certain percentage away for taxes. Like if you just got that out of today, I think today is a win. I'm going to pay myself first out of every deal, and then I'm going to set some money away for taxes. Okay. Secret number 2, saving and investing hacking. Saving and investing hacking. What do you mean? Well, just like that transaction that comes in on the 28th of the month, that money comes in. And we got that $15,000, $20,000 commission. Well, when we pay ourselves first, and then we pay the government, we have business money that we have money left over to run our business, we still have business expenses that happen 24 months or 12 months a year. We have business expenses that happen annually, right? Most people don't pay their CPA every single month. They just pay them when they're ready to write the check for their tax preparation or their tax planning, right? Well, that might be $4 grand, $5 grand, $6 grand, but it happens. So do you have a plan to save some of your commission every single month to go do the stuff or go pay for the things, right? Cabo's coming up in about 8 weeks. The number one reason why people don't go to One Big Fire or EXPCon is not because they don't want to. It's because they don't have the money 24 to 30 days before the event. It's the number one reason. So out of every check, why don't we just siphon off a percentage or a dollar amount? We know Cabo's going to come up. We know EXPCon's coming. We know Build's here. We know we want to go to Grant Cardone's 10X. We want to go into Matt's Wealth Building Workshop or Profit First Workshop in Vegas. Like, so take a dollar amount out of every check and just set it off to the side so that when the tickets open up, you can buy your ticket. Then you can book a hotel. Then you can book the flight. Out of every check. And we do that we do that on the business, and we also do that personally. I mean, it's January 16th. If you put Christmas on a credit card, you're about ready to realize how much money you spent in the next 10 days. Because that credit card bill's coming due. Versus when you pay yourself, take a percentage out of every time you pay yourself. You get $600 or $500, take 100 and set it off to the side so you can go buy Christmas in November with money that you've earned all year. not just run up the American Express because you had a great year and then you get stuck with the bill in February. Savings, and then also do the exact same thing with investing. Every single month, just invest a little bit. Start there. I helped one of my clients open up a Roth IRA, or sorry, a traditional IRA. We're going to backdoor it into a Roth. And they said, where do I start? And I was like, $50 a week. Just move it from your bank account to Schwab. What do I do with it? Just get $250 in there first, go prove that we can do it, then we'll start buying stuff. Baby steps. We have to earn the right to do it. Savings and investing hacking. And then number 3, and I know this is Pete's favorite. This is going to be Middleton's favorite. Budget hacking. I know, like, if there's a tattoo that Pete Middleton has, it's budgeting. I'm going to do a budget, right? We kid because we care. But at the end of the day, gang, budget hacking, right? Type in the chat. When I say the word budget, what's the feeling or emotion that overcomes you, and before you want to just throw things through the screen and say, dude, I'm not doing a budget. Right? Fear, restriction, lack, so many of those things that we've just been told over and over and over. It's not in the budget. 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 Not in the budget. Not in the budget. Like over and over and over. Well, I'm here to say that, hey, doing a budget is simply doing a plan for your money before you spend it. That's all it is. And then just being an adult and honoring that commitment for 30 days. Again, that's one of the things that I have conversations with my clients, my students, my wife is like, hey, it's not a budget for our life. It's a budget for the next 30 days. Hey, we got 20 grand. We got 40 grand coming in from the business. We're going to pay ourselves 20. What do you want to do with $20,000 this month? How much are we going to give? How much are we going to save? How much are we going to invest? How much are we going to spend? And then guess what we do in another 28 days? The business is going to make $13,000 because we had a down month. We're going to pay ourselves $6,000. What are we going to do with $6,000? And then we go back to that savings and investing secret to say, hey, when we have that big month, do we want to take some of this money and add age to it? Because, hey, it's a $20,000 month, but I only have 13 coming in next month. I need some of this money next month. Show of hands, who's ever had a great month followed by a little bit of a down month? Yeah, everybody. And everybody raised their hands. Yeah. You just made 50. Yeah, you made 10. What happened to the 50? Oh, it went towards last year's taxes. So we have to, as we're going through this framework, we have to stabilize the present to structure the future. We want to take our income and aim it towards opportunities, not obligations. We want to understand how much money we're making before it comes in, and we want to do a plan with it. And that might mean we need to open up a few bank accounts. We might need to get a couple of budgeting apps, and open up a couple of spreadsheets just so we can start to get organized, because the two biggest things that cause the most stress and anxiety is inconsistent income and financial disorganization. And so as we wrap up today, Coach, I hear you. I'm a part-time agent. I'm a solo agent. Maybe I'm a team agent. Maybe you're a team leader. Do I have to do all this, or can I just go sell more real estate? Well, I have a question for you. If you're trying to get from one side of the lake to the other, and then there are holes in the boat, does it matter how fast you paddle? No, you're going to sink. Eventually you'll sink. You're on the treadmill, you're going to get tired, you're going to fall down. So if you actually do this kind of stuff, what would be happening? What if you were actually able to just get organized to create a consistent income? Would it be worth it? Like, you didn't even worry about the profit, the budget, the savings and investing, but you just had a consistent income, 3 deals a month, 3 deals a month, 3 deals a month, because you learned some of this stuff and you got in there and you got in the weeds and you figured this out. Would it be worth it to go through this framework or through this program? What if you're able to be profitable on every transaction every time, right? If you run a team, right? Small, big, medium, or big, right? Imagine if you were profitable every single time somebody sold a house. I mean, there are people on this call, and I can't see the majority of you, but there's some people on this call that haven't filed taxes in 3 years. And again, there is no shame, no blame, no judgment on me. I've been there. Other people have been there. But what if you were able to remove the stress of paying taxes on time forever? What if you became debt-free and you didn't owe anybody any money? And you even owned the grass in the backyard? What if you were able to save your first $1,000, $10,000, $100,000? And another one I need to add on here for us married guys and gals. What if the financial stress and conversations in your marriage evaporated? And those conversations they just became some intense fellowship chats. There's no stress and anxiety around Melinda and I's money. It doesn't mean we don't argue about it. It just means that we just have to carve out the time to just be open and create a relationship around the money. Would it be worth it? Now you can take a screenshot of this. What if you were able to use your real estate commission to become a multimillionaire? Now, these are numbers that are just out of an online calculator that's invested into whatever it's invested in. This is just math. This isn't my special investment. This is just taking $5,000 a month invested at 10% a year for 10 years and you get $1 million. The investment's not the important part. What it's invested in at this stage of the game is not important. What's important is how committed is commitment and consistency. How committed do we have to become that we carve off $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, or $10,000 a month to go invest consistently for a decade to 2 decades? Because the path is all math. This might mean you have to sell more real estate. This might mean you have to live on a delayed gratification. You might have to sacrifice some lifestyle. You may have to sacrifice time and go get a second job if you're not selling as much real estate. That's not the point. The point is, this is math. That $10,000 invested at 10% for 2 decades is $7 million. And if I'm half wrong, can you figure it out at 3.5 million? Can you buy the house? Can you take the trips? Like, gang, this is just math. And so I want to open this up for some Q&A. I actually wanted to offer you guys are my brothers and sisters at EXP. I've got a wealth mapping session that you can actually apply for. It's 100% free. I don't bite. I don't yell. I don't scream. I might push on a bruise or two. I might cause a little uncomfortableness, but I'm telling you, you're going to leave that with some awareness so you can make a decision and be intentional around your next best step around your money. And again, I'll let Pete and Mitch have that link and they can send it out to you guys. Cam, you can have it and put it wherever you guys want. And so as we wrap today, and I want to open it up for Q&A, you guys ask the questions, the moderators or bring the panel or the attendees on. Like, the path is all math, gang, and you're only one budget away from creating stress-free life. Now, it might take a few times to do it, but once you get it, it doesn't go away. And it's been an honor serving you, to have this conversation, to bring this into your world. And hopefully it impacted one person, that whether they download the ebook or we have a conversation on social, I'll put all of those channels here to reach out and connect. And just know that I do this from the bottom of my heart, and I love serving the person in front of me without an agenda. And if I do that long enough, Melinda and I we'll be able to get everything we want. So I appreciate you, Pete. Mitch, thank you so much.
I love that, Matt. That was awesome. It definitely opened my eyes because I function a lot of times without a budget, and I try to have budgets, and it's always a moving target, which sounds weird when it comes to budgets, but I'm just sharing, with transparency. I mean, things come up and things change, and I'm trying to create this budget that keeps evolving all year long. So I appreciate you sharing everything with that. I mean, if you're looking, you guys, as we started this off, I think Mitch was slow on the draw getting the recording going, but if you're trying to be more profitable and have a better work-life balance and take the stress out of your life, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. So you have to have a strategy, and it's good to have coaches in different lanes in your life, whether it's a life coach, a financial coach, a production coach, and Matt is a financial coach that can teach you how to take that hard work that you're doing every day. And let's just face it, last couple of years in real estate have been grindy. They've been tough. You had to work harder. A lot of people are making less. And I'm sure Matt will say this. I mean, this is just my feeling on it. A lot of people aren't good at taking their foot off the gas pedal or tapering back a little bit on their spending. It's tough to change your lifestyle and be disciplined. Most people are undisciplined. That's why there's credit cards, and that's why they exist. That's why there's $1.3 trillion worth of credit card debt right now in the United States. I mean, it's crazy. And I'm just so appreciative that God brought Matt into my life. And I first thought it was for him to teach me golf lessons and to constantly beat me at golf or tell me that I thought the message was I'm just not good at golf. And then Matt had this whole other side of him that he never pushed it on me, you guys. Just by having conversations, I've learned this about him, and I've respected that. And you know something? Reach out to him. He'll change your life. I'm telling you, he'll change your path to prosperity. He'll change your journey, and he has so much to offer. So if anybody has any questions, please put it in the chat, or we can even do it where somebody unmutes. But, this is where it starts. It's not an easy conversation. Most people do not like sharing their financial background or status or livelihood. And until you get really clear with that and really honest with that, you're not going to create a path to prosperity. It's super important. That's why we had Matt as our featured speaker in January, because we wanted everybody to get their year started off the right way. So please either unmute and ask a question, or if you don't feel comfortable doing that, type it in the chat and I'll ask Matt. Open to questions right now.
I have one.
Cam, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a
Cam.
question for you,
Go ahead.
Matt. That was fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on here. This past year, I've had a lot of agents that have come to me, and quite honestly, they've been very vulnerable and just said, Cam, I am like out of money. I have zero money. And a lot of times, you can help them out one way or the other and just try to help them. But what would you suggest for people that are in that situation where maybe they're not in credit card debt? Maybe they haven't gotten that bad, but they're at the point now where they can't buy gas or they're really scared.
I mean, and again, that is spot on. I mean, that's especially in, 23, 24 in the world of real estate, right? And so when I have someone that comes into my world or in my DMs and they send me, I can always, I always look through the lens of just like humility and empathy, because we don't know what other people are going through. But as Pete was saying, that the thing that I can empower you on is that we have all felt it. The majority of us have felt it. Majority of us have been in an environment where we've been at wit's end, whether it is. And so when that person does come up, and I would advise them, it's like I would have them go through that financial transformation, right? Write down, and again, this is not to shame them, it's to help them bring awareness to themselves on that internal reflection. For things to change, we have to change, right? Work harder on ourselves than we do on our job. And so if we're like, hey, I just don't have any money, Cam, can you please loan me, or just like find it in your heart to give me $500? I'd be like, yes. And let's meet for coffee tomorrow or Tuesday. And I would then equip them with a book, The Total Money Makeover, The Psychology of Money, depending on their size of their team, Profit First. Ask them the question, hey, if I gift you Financial Peace University, if I gift you an enrollment or a sponsorship into Matt's wealth department, would you go every week for 12 weeks? Would you show up and do Financial Peace University and then meet with me the next day after you do it with your spouse? Would you meet with me and we'll walk through it? Because Cam, if you came to me and I just ripped off $500 and I was like, hey man, I'm sorry you're going through this. Like this money's already spent, gang. Right? And this doesn't mean, Cam's a sharp guy. He's not an alcoholic. He's not out there doing drugs. He's not going to go to McDonald's. Like, he's just trying to live. But me giving Cam $500 might extend him another 10 days. But I want to extend Cam 10 years, 100 years. So yeah, I got the money, but let's also make sure, and this is great for parents, kids, let's do work and then get paid. Does that help, Cam?
Yeah, that's spot on. That's usually what I do with them. I give them a little bit, but it's really like I need you to go work and get moving and have that forward movement. So Matt, that was spot on. It kind of it really aligned with what I'm doing. So I'm happy that it wasn't a totally off
Yeah.
the rails type of
Or hey, it's real estate agent.
solution.
You know what? Yes, $500. It's Saturday. I've got $500 for you on Friday. Or I'll give you $100 every day. But you got to come to my office and you got to make 3 hours worth of phone calls. And there's a $100 bill waiting for you when you're done. It will change the $100. And you don't Venmo the $100. You just drop it on. You got a $100 bill. Right? Awesome. Great question. Who else in the chat? Let's see if we got anything else in here.
Guys, don't be shy. Matt doesn't bite. Trust me, I know. Just ask him any question you want. This is how you get it out off your chest. All of us have items that we're trying to work on.
Yeah, and also I'm gonna put in my because again, it is sometimes hard when we're in our peers or with our peers to ask a question. I'm just gonna drop my social channels in here real quick.
Excellent.
So if anybody has a question, right, just shoot me a DM. I think Pete, you dropped my cell phone in there.
I
Totally
hope that was
fine.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it is now. I mean, hey, anytime Pete just drops my information on the internet, I just know it's a golf shirt and it's a tea time at the Grove.
That's
That's
right.
all I know. That's
100%.
hey, that's fine, right? I need
It's a
a
good
golf shirt,
trade-off.
I need a hoodie from the Grove, and I just need a tea time. I'll pay for the caddy, Pete.
Listen, we'll do it all day long. We don't need the caddy. I'm going to be your caddy because I can't beat you.
Yeah,
So
well, that and also you can't walk, so you just show me around.
I'm
Keep
getting
hyping
there.
his
That's
date.
why there's this invention called carts, right?
Exactly. So yeah, I'll put the ebook in here just again so people can download it if they're watching a replay or they're on a different channel. And then if you guys let's see, ebook, that's the ebook. And then also for those of you that either you want to have that conversation or you're like, hey, what could be the next step? I'm actually doing, and again, I'll say and then ask for permission later. I actually have a very free, 100% free workshop that starts next Monday. We're going to go 5 days and actually work through the methodology. I put the link in there. Again, it's 100% free. There's no ask or anything throughout that. It's just my way of giving back and encouraging and engaging with agents to take that next step, which might be a budget, which might be a conversation with a spouse, open up some bank accounts, implement profit first, or actually say, hey, you know what? I have to go do this. This is going to be my thing in 25. And let's go rock and roll. Cause when agents are stress-free around their life, their time, and their money, those are better real estate agents. Imagine sitting at a listing table, sitting at a table on a listing appointment, and you don't have to get the sale. You don't have to sign the agreement because you got 50 grand in the bank, because you have 6 pending. Imagine how much we can serve without an agenda because we've built stress-free wealth and we're simply there to serve the homeowner, whether they're the buyer or the seller. I just think that puts you in such a different environment than your competition, and you'll be able to charge more. You'll be able to have more fun. You won't have to sell as many houses, and you'll truly be able to go build stress-free wealth. I love it. Thanks for having me on, Pete. I'll see you soon, man.
Matt, you're the best, buddy. Hey, just one last question on your workshop.
Yep.
How long is it each day?
1 hour.
So only 1 hour a day.
1 hour a day.
5 days. So 5
days.
hours, you'll help somebody basically transform or give them a roadmap.
Yeah.
To transform into wealth.
Correct.
Love it. What a deal. That's like
for $3.99. I mean, even Pete Middleton can afford $3.99.
$3.99 is nothing. I mean, that's cheap. That's cheap
Dinner.
stuff, you guys.
It's dinner.
That's
Yeah,
dinner.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, gang. I love y'all. I'll see you in Cabo.
Thanks, Matt.
I'll see you in the workshop. I'll see you on social. I'll see you in Cabo. And Pete, I'll see you at the Grove.
Thanks, buddy. See you soon.
All right.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
Matt.
all your
Thanks,
time.
buddy.
Everybody, like I always say each week, pass this forward. Pay it forward. Pass it to somebody else who needs production help, is struggling in their business, needs a pick-me-up, needs new energy, wants new ideas, wants to implement one idea that will change their business. Please invite them to this mastermind. We don't care what company, what brokerage, what their production is, how long they've been in real estate. It doesn't matter. We're trying to pay it forward. All of us remember when we first started in real estate. And at that time, I can tell you Zoom didn't exist. The internet didn't exist. I mean, when Mitch and I started, we didn't even have electricity. We used to do everything by candlelight. So
Right.
just pay it forward. All right. We've all been in your shoes before. We're not saying that we're the best. We're trying to educate ourselves and move forward and help others by paying it forward. So please invite people. We're going to start getting these notices out sooner with the links so that you don't have to do anything. You know what you have to do? Just share it. Send it down the line and share it. That's all you have to do. And if people attend, they attend. Mitch, how can everybody get this recorded?
So these are all on my YouTube channel, which is my name, right? Pretty easy. And then they're also all put in the Tribe University. So they're in both those locations. So you can either go to my YouTube channel, you can go, you all should have access to the Tribe University if you're with EXP with that group. But if you're not
But
with that
where
group,
is the Tribe University? Is it on Workplace? Where is it?
no, that's a separate thing that everybody has. We've got a few hundred people going there every week, so I know people have it.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and send that back out to everybody. So everybody has it. Again, we'll send it out this week.
Do we have a Tribe YouTube page yet?
No, it's all.
Okay, we're going to create that because the Tribe is your vibe. So that's what we're going to do.
Also, you guys all received, if you're in our group, you received the invitation to Facebook, a Facebook group we created for the Tribe. Keep in mind that Workplace is going away in September. We don't know what the alternatives yet. So for right now, we're going to put everybody into Facebook because we know you're all in Facebook. Just so we have someplace to put everybody until we know what's going on with it. Where they're putting everybody with EXP.
In the Tribe, it's just the Tribe, right? In Facebook.
The Tribe at EXP. Yeah.
The Tribe at EXP.
Yeah. Everybody got a link You know, I know a lot of people don't read our emails, but everybody got a link to go on there and do it. So far, only about 150 people have done that out of our 2,200 people, 2,300 people. So if you're not on the get there, because all of our live streaming starting next week is going to go onto that page in Not Workplace. Okay.
Yeah, I see it. The Tribe at EXP. I'm joining it right now. Join. That easy, you guys. It's all spelled out. The Tribe at EXP.
Cool.
On
All right,
Facebook.
guys, have a good week. We'll see you guys next week. Well,
See
I
you
will see you
guys.
guys. I'll be playing baseball. You guys won't see me.
You guys have a great week. We'll see you next Thursday.
Okay,
Bye, guys.
bye.